Guys, good day. Thank you for joining me. I hope all is well where you are. This is going to be an exciting video. We are actually going to be using a new stock playbook. We're moving on from the Arizona Cardinals. That playbook is still relevant, so if you wish to continue using it, by all means, go ahead, have fun. I'll be doing write-ups for all of the offenses and proper setup videos. So we're going to be looking at least 2 stock books, more than likely 3, and a custom book. That's all going to be available on Patreon. But today we're moving on to a different playbook, and I'm going to explain why. So as we discussed previously, the Cowboys use a lot of 12 personnel. In fact, through all snaps, they're 4th in the league at 33%. And their game plan, as you see, when they come out on first down, they're using it nearly half of their snaps, which is go for 3rd in the league. So the 12 personnel really needs to be more of a highlight in our offense. As I stated before, no team has run more snaps out of 12 personnel with the tight ends next to each other. So that means the wing formations than the Cowboys have, and they have a lot of success with it, as you see here. Again, this shows you now that they rank 1st in success rate in 12 personnel, 4th in 11 personnel, which isn't bad. But this just shows you that the Cowboys are able to balance those 2 offenses very well, and that 12 personnel is a big part of their offense. And as we've seen, the wing in particular. So what are they doing out of 12 personnel? Well, interestingly enough, their play action goes from 19% all the way up to 15% when you compare 11 versus 12 personnel. The other thing is that 12 personnel allows them to be a lot more physical in the run game with a duo scheme as opposed to the zone scheme that they typically run in 11 personnel. I'll leave some links in the description to explain the difference between a duo scheme and a zone scheme. Now, another interesting tidbit is that on just about half of their snaps, there is going to be some pre-snap motion. But this isn't motion snapping, because motion snapping, they're a little bit less. They're 24th in the league, but they are 14th in the league at motioning a receiver and allowing them to set. So you'll see we're actually going to come out in gun halfback week. We're going to do a quick motion, shift our receivers, and we're going to run the rock. It's 1st and 15 because our opponent decided to take that delay of game while we were setting up our audibles. But that's fine because we're showing him that it's 1st and long. We're still willing to run. We're not in a position where we feel like we have to pass. We're looking at his defense. He's playing a very, very light defense. So we're running it, you see, on 1st and long. We're running it on 2nd and long. So now he knows we have our 2 tight ends in here. We'll absolutely gash him if he allows it. So we're going to go ahead and run one of those play actions that we know the Cowboys also run. We hit the flat because it looked like it was there. He came up and made a good tackle. That's fine. He's now starting to see that he's going to have to guard the flat. He's going to have to guard the run because we are not locked into any one particular thing. So we're going to give him play action again. This time we do a little motion from under center, and we see that we actually have a deep shot. So within the first 30 seconds of the game, minute or so of the game, he now knows that he has to defend the run, he has to defend play action, he has to defend the flats, and we're willing to go over top. And we're willing to do these things regardless of the down and distance because we have confidence versus whatever scheme it is you show us to run whatever it is we feel like needs to be run. But again, this guy insisted, I'm pretty sure the whole game, that he wasn't getting in base defenses. So we decided we would take advantage of that and pound the rock, and we spread him out where we could. So now we jump in 11 personnel, and in the 11 personnel we're not using play action as much. Not that we won't, but we're just going to line him up. We're going to hit this slant, and he wasn't ready for it. So we got a touchdown on our first possession. So now here we go, we're setting up some audibles. Again, gun halfback week is a big part of the reason we're in this offense. Because the Denver offense are the only one that actually have this formation, and it's a really good formation. They're the only ones that have 2 tight ends lined up next to each other with the receivers on opposite ends in a gun formation, period. Right, so again, you see we curl flats. There's nothing better to stretch a defense vertically and horizontally because you're looking at the flats on either side, you're looking at those curls on either side, and then you have the tight end right in the middle of the field. So we're just going to pick our spot. He gave us the flat, we took it, and we picked up 5 yards. Now this is it. Remember we talked about staying ahead of the chains. So if we're picking up 5 yards, that's amazing on first down. I'll settle for 3. 4 is really the goal. At 4 or more on first down is perfect. So then we go ahead and we nearly pick up our first down with the 0-1 trap. So this first game we were really focused on using Denver's offense and getting comfortable and familiar with the plays and the formations. So we weren't doing as much audibling, and the audibling, as I mentioned previously, is where we get a lot of our pre-snap motion, where we go from doubles to wing or doubles to trips. There are two other gameplays where you'll see that we increase the use of some of those audibles, and even some of the plays. You'll see the plays vary because, like the Cowboys do in real life, we take what it is the defense gives us. This game, we ran it more than the other games because our opponent insisted, much like the Carolina Panthers insisted against the Cowboys earlier this year, to stay in these lighter defenses. So if he's going to do that, we're going to punish him by running the ball. We're not going to throw the ball heavy against somebody who's in a pass defense. It's not necessary. So here you see we jump into wing flags. You'll see our motion. This is an auto motion, and this wing flags has these 3 auto motion plays that are very nice. They're actually in the Cowboys playbook as well. It's a trap, it's a zone weak run, and it's that PA double post. That PA double post is one of my favorite plays. I used to use it without the auto motion, and I motion one of the wide receivers over on a smoke, and the deep out route just got naked. But now I'm actually using the auto motion because of the way the Cowboys scheme is. I feel I could try to fit it in, and it works magically. You'll see here, as a matter of fact, I set this up by running the 0-1 trap twice. Most people think you're going to do something different on the second snap, so I figured I'd run the 0-1 trap twice in a row so that he doesn't know when we're actually going to give him that play action and catch our tight end deep on the sidelines. And again, this was the first game we ran this offense, so you'll see we sharpen things up a little bit as we move along. But it's very nice to have this play action, this run game. It actually really does feel more like what we watch on Sundays. Whereas with the Arizona offense, it was nice, but we chose Arizona's offense because of bunch quads, because of empty quads, and in large part because of those halfback swing routes, if you will. Now, real quickly, so we motion CeeDee Lamb over here on this one, thinking we're going to get a quick pass, assuming he's probably going to run commit because we are in a heavy set and we haven't been shy about running it. But he didn't, so we stayed patient. And if you go back and look at the touchdown to Cedric Wilson in the back of the end zone against Carolina, it was very similar, except Dak told Cedric to come back into the inside. But it was very similar where Dak was patient, he rolled out and he hit it. But again, this is the first time we're running this offense, and you can see it's very well balanced. This play is becoming a key play because it's very difficult to guard. The halfback goes out, and both of the tight ends come over on course and routes at different levels. And then you also have the dig. It's not a deep dig, it's about a 10-yard dig on the backside. Those 4 routes are amazing together. And then you can do whatever you want with the solo receiver, of course. A lot of times when it's Amari Cooper, I'm going to be putting him on that apprentice post and motioning him in. I'm working with that. I'll keep you updated. But here we go. We're making our opponent respect the run. We're making respect the pass. So this is becoming a problem. That gun deuce close, I do have something that I'm doing out of that as well. It's really only one thing that I took into the game to land for goal line. I think it's the next game that I use it. It isn't this one because I hadn't tried it yet. Here you go. We see we're going to go ahead and give him the halfback wham. We're back in our 11 personnel now. So 3rd and goal. We want to try something different, and we want to try something that we know the Cowboys use. He's been pinching his defense because I've been running the rock, and he's thinking if he pinches, he can defend against the run, and he keeps his zones out, he can defend against the pass. So we'll hit him with the jet sweep. We find a lane and we cut it in. We don't wait to get to the outside. We take our lane. So he quit after that game. By the way, that guy was ranked 11 at the time. He's now ranked number 8. And we actually beat him again later on in the evening. But we beat him with defense. We went up 14-0 before we even got the ball on offense. And I actually quit that game because I was in the wrong offense. So I told him he could have the W. We're actually friends, so I told him he could have the W. So going against the Cardinals, we come out and we were short on the clock, so we decided to just run it. It's the safest thing to do. But we have our 2 tight ends now in a doubles formation because we want to practice audibling over to our wing formations in order to get that motion similar to what the Cowboys do. So again, like I said, you're going to see me using this play more and more because I really find that it gives defenses problems, especially now. I mean, if Ezekiel Elliott can catch this and go ahead and make people miss, by the time you have Tony Pollard's about 5 steps ahead of where Zeke is, you know. So I do use them both. because I use them both in this offense, period. So I use them both on that as well, because Zeke actually is a good receiving back. He might not be as fast as Tony, but he's definitely a good receiving back. So you don't want to pigeonhole him into just running and Tony into just receiving. And to be completely honest, Tony's a good runner, and believe it or not, he can run between the tackles as well. So a lot of times people see these bigger backs and smaller backs and they just say thunder and lightning, and that's what it is. But if you watch the Cowboys, they do run them different. They do use them differently, no doubt about it. But it's not as large a difference as one would believe. So here you go. We give him that play action. We hit Tony in the flat. We're able to catch and run for about 8 yards. That's a great pickup. If you're looking at 2nd and 2, of course, your whole playbook is wide open to you. This is why it's important that we take what the defense gives us, because now we're in a position where we run in one trap. Now, when I see those looks where the mug in the gap, like the 2-4-5 double A gaps and all that stuff, I actually prefer to audible down to single back and do a normal dive. There, I made the wrong read. The tight end on the flat was actually open on the other side. Fortunate for us, he knocked it down. He didn't pick it off. So we're going to go ahead and jump into one of our wing formations. And I'm going to take Tony Pollard out because I want a better blocker here. So I'll probably put in Sean McKeon. Is what I'm pretty sure I did, because he is the better of the remaining tight ends in terms of blocking. I'm going to start leaving Connor McGovern there if they continue to use him as at fullback once these guys come back from injured reserve, because that is typically what they were doing with McKeon prior to him going to injured reserve. But we managed to pick up the first down. You'll see me default into using the weak wing as opposed to the iPhone wing a little bit in the coming videos, because that is something the Cowboys actually do a lot. You'll see they line up in weak formation a lot. To play corner and goals, I'm going to go ahead and drop in my audibles, because I actually jumped into this game in order to try that at the goal line, and I did get a chance. So we'll go ahead and discuss that when we get there. For now though, we're going to jump back to doubles flex week. I think we still have our 12 personnel in. Yes, we do. So let's see what the decision was here. We went ahead and we ran it. Now they actually have a wide trap in the double flex week. So we're looking at defenses, and we have this wide trap. We can audible to 0-1 trap, or we can audible to this pass play. Those three, honestly, if we were doing the whole Madden offense, you could absolutely spam those three all game until your opponent figured it out, and then obviously mix in a thing here and a thing there, a screen or something, and beat most people with those 3 plays. But obviously that's not what we're doing. We're not trying to run a Madden offense. We're trying to run more of a simulated offense. But if you want to, or if you find yourself stuck, by all means, just start spamming those 3 plays. You're going to beat just about everybody. There goes the 0-1 trap. So once again, if you continue to take what your opponent gives you, yeah, you'll get a bunch of 5-yard runs. You'll get some 4-yard runs, some shorter ones, but you're going to eventually bust a long one as well. So he thought he could try to play it safe, 2 hook zones and a bunch of man defense. Thought he could play the run and the pass, and he thought incorrectly. So now you see again, we get into one of our heavy sets. We let Zeke do what Zeke does, put his shoulder down and hammer it home. So it wasn't that game that we used that corners go out of gun dudes close. I was incorrect, but it must be this game because this is the last game we played. You see we already have 7 points on the board. That was actually a defensive touchdown, so that's why we didn't show this. It was a user lurk pick 6. I'm going to be doing a defensive video very soon as well to show where all these pick 6s are coming from, because my defense right now is really confusing people with a couple of my coverage adjustments. But I thought about putting it in this one, but we're going to put it in the next one. Now you see, here's another opponent who accepts that delay a game when we're setting up our audibles the first time we go on offense. But that's okay, because to be completely honest, I use that as additional motivation to make sure I beat you up pretty good. So by all means, do that. If you want to celebrate, because I remember those things. It doesn't get me pissed off enough that it throws me off my game, because I know it throws some people off the game, but for me, it actually makes me dial in. So I don't mind it. So you see what happens here with the running back and the tight end? Go back and look at his user. He didn't know who to cover. He was trying to cover them both, and in the end ended up covering nobody. So we went ahead and took the deeper of the 2 passes, get down safely, and an easy 5 yards. Again, if you look at what we're doing on first down, we're always keeping ourselves in these manageable down and distances. So we go ahead, we drop that 0-1 trap on another victim, and we pick up an easy, steady 17 yards. Now it looks like we're going to set up some of our single back offense. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and put in those motion plays because I absolutely love using them. Oh, as a matter of fact, I apologize. We're in single back wing. I thought we were going to wing flex just now. Now we're going to go ahead. We have 15 seconds, so we know we need to get into our offense, especially if we're going to audible. Chances are we're not going to audible now because we don't have a whole lot of time. No, there's no sense trying to audible now. Not to another formation anyway. So we go ahead, we give them the wide trap, we get our 3 yards, and that's fine. Like I said, I don't mind 3 yards. 2nd and 7 is fine because now we pick up 4 yards, 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3 is easily manageable as well when you have an offense that can run the ball, can pass the ball. And I'm at midfield, so if I end up at 4th and inches, 4th and 1, I'm going for it. So I have 2 downs to pick up 3 yards if it's 3rd and 3, of course. So you go through all these scenarios while you're playing the game. And staying ahead of the change, staying on schedule, is absolutely vital. And if you look at what I do with my running backs, you'll see it with both of them, and you see it a few times. I would stir myself towards the oncoming defender and then back to the outside. It's easier for the AI especially to beeline and tackle you. So I actually run right at them and then run away. Tend to be able to pick up more yards. You want to practice it in the lab, of course. So there we did a play action and we got ourselves slapped in the face, and that happens. So now we're looking at a 2nd and long. And you'll see we don't see many 2nd and longs because we're doing a good job with this offense. I absolutely lost my focus here. 2nd and long, there's no reason to be trying to get the whole 17 yards on 2nd down. My tight end is wide open. I could easily pick up at least 13 yards with a catch and run. Instead, I try to go over the top. But it doesn't end there. I go ahead and play just as stupid on 3rd down. So I'm absolutely human. When I'm in a new offense, when I'm in any offense, I make mistakes. But when I'm in a new offense, there are definitely moments of brain farts where I just do unimaginably stupid things. And this is one of those moments. So feel free to laugh at me and feel free to wonder what the hell I was doing, because I've watched this about 5 times and I'm still wondering what the hell I was doing myself. But I clamped down on defense and got the ball right back. So it's still 7-0. He didn't advance the ball anywhere at all. We went nuts with the cover 1 defense that I love to play. So we have the rock, and now I said, okay, it's time to get back to basics. We're going to jump in single back wing flags. We're going to run the ball down this guy's throat for a little bit and just regain momentum and regain control. Just in case he was wondering, because it's 7-0, so he might be feeling like, hey, maybe we're on the same level. Maybe I can play with this dude. So I want to make sure that I show him, hey, I'm under control. I can move the ball, right? You do have to defend me. You do have to respect me. So we jump back in. I said you're going to see this play a little bit. So we jump right back in that. I haven't found anybody yet who's been able to figure out all those routes coming to the same side of the field. Go ahead. Again, another short pickup, 2nd and 5. You're going to see a lot of 2nd and 5s. I tend to pick up 5 yards a lot on 1st down, which is incredible. If you can guarantee me 5 yards on every 1st down, I'll take it. I don't need any 10, 15, or 20 yard gains. Give me 5 yards on every 1st down, guaranteed. By all means, I'm going to win every game. So 2nd and 5 at his 25. No need to rush, sweat, or worry about a thing. We hit the 2-minute warning. So here the main thing is, obviously we want to score before halftime. 2 minutes is a ton of time. I look at the wide receiver screen, don't like the way it looks. We are going to come back to that because by all means this game was the game I started slipping that in a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and give him the spacing concept. And again, the middle of the field gets cleared out. We just wait for our tight end to turn around. We give it to him. He sits down. Easy pickup of 10 yards. Now here we go to an inside zone, which you haven't seen us run a lot, but that's where the defense looks weak. So that's where we go ahead and attack. The fall forward thing is nonsense. He should have tackled me for a 2-yard gain. They made it a 7-yard gain. I can't apologize for Madden because I did not make the game. Corner and goes. Here it is. Now I typically do it the other way, where the tight ends are running their routes toward Coop, because I'm putting Coop on an apprentice fade because it acts like a deep dig. So the 2 tight ends running these man-beating routes, which the Cowboys do with these tight ends, and actually you saw it against the Panthers. Big Jarman did it. So the important thing though is neither of them were open, so I waited for Coop as he crossed the back of the end zone, and you have to throw that thing right on time. If you throw it early or late, it's a pick. So I was able to get that in a tight window, and we got a touchdown. You see there, we got another interception. Again, my cover 1 defense is insane right now. It is really the reason I'm able to just go in game with these new offenses and still win most of the games. So we got 38 seconds. We jump back in our single back wing flags, and we're going to go ahead and give them the play action. Now, if you look, the post to B, we could have possibly hit that, but I think by the time I read it, I didn't feel comfortable throwing it. So I said I would rather get out of bounds, because at this point, I would rather 3 points than no points, because you want to just give yourself that advantage going into the second half of the game, of course. So now we jump into trio wide flags. You guys remember, this was Cowboy trio from last year. This was my favorite offense from last year. The tight end used to be a delay drag, and now it's by stock it is a regular drag. But in either case, more often than not I put him on the drag anyway, but I did like the delay as a max protect option, so I will slip into that every now and again, and we're supposed to be using some trips, so you will see me use that. These few games I was using a lot of the wing, more than 50% that I'm supposed to, mainly because, oh actually the 33% I'm supposed to, 50% on first down, but mainly because I'm trying to get comfortable with those wing formations, because those are the most important part of this Cowboys offense. That is what identifies this Cowboys offense as a Cowboys offense, because again, they use wing formations more than any team in the league, not the quads and the bunch quads and the halfback swing screen or orbit screen, whatever you want to call it. This is what the Cowboys do. So you guys know I love an out route, so I'm going to mix it up on him a little bit here. This was a little freestyling, but you know it's there, you can take it. Because his DB was dropping back the way he was, I threw it a little later than usual, but I wanted to play safe. It made me have to use a timeout and made me get 4 yards less than I normally would if I threw it on the break, but I'd rather play it safe. So now here, I got nothing. I absolutely got nothing. It wasn't great play design, to be completely honest, and I should have done more with my audibles. I actually meant to throw that away. I was lucky I didn't toss it into a worse spot. Managed to get the field goal. So we go 17-7 into the half. Now coming out in the third, we have the ball. So we have a 10-point lead with the ball. It's imperative we score here, because we know we can start to close it out. So we're going to audible it down. We're going to get into our 0-1 trap. And now we want to make sure we're using our run and we're using our short passes, because we want to use some clock. So if we can manage to use most of the third quarter, if not more, and score a touchdown or even a field goal, we put our opponent in a bad place, especially against a defense that he's yet to figure out. So we're under center, we'll come out in a zone run, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit, oh actually it was slam. We come out and we hit that with Z. So again, the clock's going to keep moving. We're picking up yards. We actually know how to, I can't remember why. I probably saw a look that I liked, but to be completely honest, it doesn't matter what look I see that I like. At that point, you want to make sure you're letting time run off the clock. No huddling, it doesn't make any sense there. So we're looking at a 2nd and long. We see he's running some cover 0, because he's expecting, okay, this guy's going to be running the ball. He's been effective running the ball. He knows what the score is. He knows what the time is. Anybody in our position is supposed to be running the ball. So we say, okay, let's go ahead and give him something different to look at. So we audible over into a trips look. And this time, we remembered what his defense was when we did that. We go ahead, we hit our tight end for, was it 11 yards, 12 yards? Easy pickup, 11 yards, because now 3rd and 2, it was 2nd and 13. You see, so you want to take these, that's a 12-yard drag, an 11-yard drag. So you don't have to look for those deep crosses. By all means, take a drag for 11 yards. It's wide open, it's an easy pass, easy pickup. 3rd and 2 for this offense is no bueno. So we're going to go ahead and set up. We run our slants. It looked like he was hitting us with a cover 0 again, or he was at least sending the dogs, the linebackers, and then on what would have essentially been a run blitz, I guess he was trying to do. So we hit him in the flats because we had anticipated that he would soon run. And now you see, I got no problem running this to the boundary. I got no problem running this on the wide side of the field. I actually did lab it, and throwing this past the Pollard right here on the boundary still works just as well. We'll go ahead and we're going to make you miss. Well, even if we don't, Pollard's going to put his shoulder down, and he's going to make it a little bit difficult to bring him down. We have a 1st and 10, 2 minutes left at his 22-yard line. We're chewing up the clock like we wanted. We're chewing up yardage like we wanted. Now on this play, he fooled me good. I thought it was a cover 0. So I was sending 2 receivers to the middle of the field to see who beat the defender first and go ahead and take it. But if you see all the linebackers coming and those 3 guys dropping, it's actually engage 8. So he had defense exactly where I was trying to beat him. I decided to throw it away. Unfortunately, I still took a penalty, but at least we didn't have a chance to get a sack fumble, right? So 2nd and 23, we'll compose ourselves. And when that happens, you just got to say, bravo, good defensive call. You got me. Let's regroup. Because if you look at it, we're still in field goal range. There's no reason to sweat. There's no reason to do anything rash. You just say, hey, what's the game plan? 2nd and 23. All right, we come out, we look at his defense, and we make a decision. What's a great thing to do here? In the NFL, you'll see a lot of times in these situations, teams are going to default to a screen. And it works in a lot of these situations. So we managed to gain back all of that yardage, and now we're looking at a 3rd and 1. To be completely honest, I have seen people quit at moments like this. So the Minnesota Vikings user, I think his name is Space Lobster, props to you for sticking in there and saying, all right, that screen pissed me off. I'm sure it pissed him off, but I'm gonna tough it out anyway. So we're gonna go ahead and call it spacing concept because we know he's sending extra people, so somebody's gonna get open. And I tell you what, we ended up beating a man defender with our tight end, but that works out. Our tight ends are good. They sit down on those routes, they show you the numbers, and you hit them. You can't take too long. As soon as you see those numbers, you gotta hit them. And now, of course, we're gonna just go ahead and run the rock. Now, if you look, 30 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. We've expired the time in the 3rd quarter. We've exhausted every second of the 3rd quarter, and we're about to go up 24-17. This guy has 1 quarter to gain a ton of points against a defense that he's only managed 1 touchdown. We're feeling confident. He is obviously confident enough to still be in the game. So props to him. I did say you're going to start seeing me in the weak wing. So here you go. We're in weak wing. We're going to call halfback gut. Cowboys actually use weak wing a good amount of the time that they're in these under center sets. So you're going to see me using it as well. Because again, we're obviously trying to replicate what it is they're doing. Now he did come down and scored quickly. You can see there's only 4:44 left on the clock. He went empty, and to be honest, he shook like 3 or 4 of my defenders. I mean, when I show my defensive video, I'll show how he beat me because it was good work on his behalf, to be completely honest. So we're just gonna jump up into something that we haven't used. He hasn't seen it. We're gonna call it play action. Absolutely unnecessary, but like I said earlier, I'm human. I was pissed off that he beat me for that touchdown. I said, you know what? I'm gonna show you that I can dot you if I really want to, and then I'm gonna go ahead and play my offense the way that I should be playing it, because by all means that play is in our scheme if we should need to use it, but we're at a point in the game where there's no need to use it. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to pass it off to Zeke, we're going to run the rock, let the clock run out a little bit more, but we do want to score again. I don't want to exhaust the clock completely in the 4th quarter without putting points on the board, because it's nice to put points on the board, right? When we're not labbing and we're just trying to win and we're trying to play smart, by all means, I will run very similar to what I did the 3rd quarter. Just let the clock run out 24-14. Start taking some halfback kneels and so on and so forth. But right now, that is not my interest. I'm able to get the tight end over the middle of the field. So we go ahead and we take that. You see, this time we didn't throw the ball to the halfback. We made the read. It wasn't there. 9 out of 10 times, it is there. But if it isn't, we take what the defense gives us. And if we need to run for a couple yards with that, or we need to throw the ball away, we'll do that, and we'll live to snap the ball on the next play. Now we come out in doubles with our 11 personnel, which we did on the previous snap as well. And we're gonna go ahead, and our drag is open, do the possession catch, easy first down. So you see how hard it is to defend this offense that is efficient against whatever it is you call on defense. You can call pass defense and we'll run it. You can call run defense and we'll pass it. And now here you go. We're gonna go ahead and hit a screen. So we can hit the flats, we can hit the middle of the field, we can hit you deep, we can hit you short. Whatever it is the defense is giving us, we're taking it. And it's not even a difficult thing to do. It's just about a pre-snap read, confirming post-snap. See right there, pre-snap. I'm thinking, okay, he's probably coming in gauge 8 again, or he's sending somebody, and there's a good chance my halfback isn't going to be covered. And I was correct. So he quit the game. We got another W. You can see these wing sets are amazing. So the reason we're using Denver, when you go through and you look at the playbooks, you'll see most offenses do have single back wing or gun wing of some form. But it's usually going to be where both of the receivers are on the same side of the field. So the wing flex, wing slot offset, those sorts of formations, right? You don't have a lot where you have a receiver on either side. Not in gun. In single back, a lot of offenses have single back wing. So that's great. And some even, like the Cowboys and the Steelers. The Steelers are another one I tried. They have a variation with the single back wing set where they'll have, just like every other single back wing, the two receivers out wide, split out wide on either side of the field. But they also have single back wing close. And the close has the receiver, and I think it's maybe 3 or 4 plays in each of them, where the receiver is lined up right on the tight end's hip on one side and out wide on the other, which is amazing. The Cowboys do it a lot, and that's why I was initially trying out the Steelers book, but I didn't like the balance of it. It didn't give me enough. So when I went and looked and saw that the Broncos actually have gun wing halfback weak, which is a gun formation, wing set with the tight ends and the receivers on either side, so this is perfect. They also have 5 wing formations. There are only 3 other teams with 5. I think it's the Lions, the Giants, and the other one's escaping me right now. But those other 3 teams have 3 single back formations, 2 gun formations, and again, both of the gun formations are either stack or slot, or anything with the receivers on the same side of the field. Denver now have 2 single back and 3 gun. So it's really nice to have the 3 gun, of course, and then one of those gun formations again has the receivers on both sides of the field. So you just have so much more variation out of the wing set. So I had to go ahead and use those. And I'm going to show you what we're doing with the other things, because of course we're going to be mixing in the doubles and the trips, and you're able to see a little bit of it, but we're going to do more. And this offense is going to take off. So those of you that are still on board with the Cowboys offense, or just keeping up just to keep up, I appreciate it. I'm going to hit you again soon with something else. Again, you can anticipate seeing a quick defensive video. It's probably going to be 5 to 10 minutes, to be completely honest, because it's just showing the adjustments that I'm using lately that are giving people a hard time. Thanks for your time. Hit the lab, hit the grass, give them hell.